name is Precious Chukwemeka, and I am the Real Land Boss, your go-to realtor. I am the realtor that everyone talks about, most especially on Facebook in the Southeast. Yes, I am a young realtor and a professional real estate consultant. So anything that has to do with real estate, count me in. I'll be here to guide you. So let's get right into it. I really want to talk about something very, very, very important that most of us we ignore and we overlook it. Now, to avoid real estate scam is very, very easy. I'm going to be talking about two things that you and I can do to avoid real estate scams, because real estate scams don't just happen. It is caused by human beings. Things that can be avoided can also be caused by one or two persons, and that is why this video is here. So if you're watching this video now, do yourself a favor to sit tight, because you'll be learning a lot of things. There are actually things that we already know before, but we tend to overlook it simply because we trust the agent, or you trust the realtor, or you feel it's a family member handling your landed property for you. Real estate is beyond trust. Real estate is beyond relatives. Real estate is beyond what you know, your colleagues or your friend. Real estate is more than that, and that is why you need to be extra careful. You need to take things as careful as you should, because what we are talking about here is millions. We are not talking about thousands. We're not talking about, even if it is thousand, right? We're talking about future investment, because real estate should bring you peace. It should not ruin you. Real estate should bring you peace. So I'm going to be talking about this important thing that you should know to avoid real estate scam, and to make sure that you're not just investing, but you're investing profitably. Right now, I said to avoid real estate scam is very easy. Now, the number one thing you need to do is that, hi Victor. Hi. So the number one thing you need to do to avoid real estate scam is always go for a site visit. You cannot be buying a property and you do not go to visit the land, to inspect the land that you want to buy. You need to inspect the land to actually know if the land you're buying belongs to someone else, or if the land is in a government acquisition zone. Because sometimes what you see on flyer or what you see in pictures might not even be what is on ground. I think I've made a video about this, and I need to go live to talk about it again, because so many persons are coming to my DM to talk about how they were scammed by their family members. That's why I said real estate is beyond family member. It is beyond whoever agent that you trust. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you so much. It is beyond what you know. So that is why you need to inspect that land. You need to check if the land that you're buying is actually what they are presenting to you. And if you must, go for inspection 2 times. Yes. Hi. Go for inspection 2 times if you must. If you must, go for inspection 2 times. Now, why do I say this? The reason is because agents are becoming very smart. Thank you so much, Victoria. You're also the best. Thank you. Agents are becoming very, very, very smart. Wait, hold on. I want to do something. Agents are becoming very smart. Now, they might actually take you to the land for the first inspection, and you feel that, okay, this place is actually very good. But by the time you make payment, come to the land to start developing on the land or to start something, you find out that the land is not actually what was shown to you. So if you must, you can go for the inspection 2 times. Now, there is this controversial questions that people will be like, what if I am not in town, or what if I'm not on ground? Most especially those that are staying in diaspora, the diaspora clients. Now, this is what you need to do. That is why you need to work with a trusted realtor and working with a trusted real estate company. You can also work with your family members, but I would not suggest you work with your uncles or your aunties. Mm-mm. If you have a sibling on ground, you can work with your sibling. Or if your parents are still alive, you can work with your parents. Send your parents to the location to inspect the land on your behalf. And if you have a trusted realtor, you can also work with that your trusted realtor. But make sure that you do not work with an uncle or an aunt. There's a reason for that, and I will explain because this is a true life story. The reason I said you shouldn't work with an uncle is this. There's a client of mine, yes. So she's not in town, she's not in Nigeria. And then she told her uncle to come inspect the land for her. So the uncle came for inspection, and because I try to be very, I'm always transparent. I told the client that this is the land your uncle actually came for inspection. Now she said the uncle told her another thing, meaning the uncle actually doubled the price of the land. The land was selling for 2.5 million naira, and the uncle told her the price of the land is 4.5 million naira. Where is it coming from? Where is the 4.5 million naira coming from? But that's not the bone of contention. This is just me saying that you shouldn't involve your uncle because they do not really care. They might actually be the enemy that you I don't want to digress, but I'm just saying that to stay on a safer side, please do not involve anything uncles or aunties except if you trust them enough to do the job for you. So that's number one thing you need to avoid in real estate. Always make sure you inspect the land, right? There is need for inspection. So you can know that this is the land you're buying. That is very, very, very important. Now, the second thing you need to know, I'm just going to say two vital things in real estate, so how you can be able to avoid scam in real estate. Now, the second thing you need to note is this. You need to find out if the person or the company has the legal right to sell the property to you. Yes, let's take for instance you're buying from a real estate company. You need to know if the company has an address, if the company has past transactional deals or past deals, if the company has location. All right, if the company doesn't have any of these things, there is no need working with that company. You need to do your own due diligence, because I noticed that most of us, we are very, very lazy. We are very lazy. You're trying to gamble with your money. This is your millions we are talking about here. You should not play with it. You should not joke with it. All right? You shouldn't joke with it. You need to take your time and make sure that your investment is safe. The reason for investing in real estate is for your generational wealth. If you want to make money, you want to make income daily, you need to do business. But if you want generational wealth, there is nothing is ever bigger than generational wealth. You need to invest in real estate, and you need to do that with smartness. You need to do that with strategy. You need to do that with carefulness. There are lots of real estate companies, agents, realtors out there. There is no time you go on social media that you won't see any realtor advertising a property or any agent advertising a property. That is why you need to calm down. You're not rushing things. Do not mind there is this food for thought in real estate where they say don't wait to buy land and wait. Yes, don't wait to buy land and wait. But at the same time, it is pertinent that you make your due diligence. Do not be lazy about it. Please do not believe the things you see on social media. It is actually few of us that you will see coming online to tell you all these things that you need to avoid. Now, the last but not the least thing that you should know as an investor, as someone who wants to secure his future, is that you should ensure that the name on your property document are correct. I am a victim of this. A client of mine purchased property. I was handling the document, right? The client wasn't actually in town. The client is in Nigeria, but not in my location. I don't know what's happening. Okay. The client was in town, but not in my location, right? And I was supposed to handle all the documents. Unfortunately, I didn't go through the document because the client was, when is my document ready? Is my document ready? When am I getting my document? And I said, your document is ready. You can send in a representative or you can come pick the document. Now, the client sent her dad to the office to pick the documents. Unfortunately for me, I didn't go through the document. I was just being overwhelmed that the document was actually ready in 1 week as promised, right? Now, the dad was able to carefully go through the documents. I am not hiding anything. I'm telling you true life stories so you can avoid that too. We all make mistakes. I am not perfect, but please listen to this. So the client's dad was able to go through the document and found out that there's a place written him instead of her. Meanwhile, the client is a she. Now, there is a place written phase 2 instead of phase 1 because the client bought from phase 1, but what was written in the document was phase 2. You see the mistake. So you need to actually take time. And also, one letter was omitted from her name. Her name is, should I say her name? No, I think I shouldn't say that. It should be confidential. Yeah, she's a client. So one letter was omitted from her name, and her dad was able to point those things and correct it. I love you too, Victoria. Thank you. Her dad was able to point out those errors, mistakes. Errors is not a mistake, it's an error. Put it that way. And we're able to correct it. So that is why I'm saying that whenever you purchase a property, either from a reliable, not either, please, from a reliable real estate company and a trusted realtor, ensure that you also do your own due diligence, right? Do your own checks. Take time to properly check the names written on your property document, if those names written there are actually correct, if one letter was omitted or if one letter was added, right? Because in most cases, authorities might actually treat it as a completely different name. So ensure that you always check the names on your property document after purchase to avoid dispute, to avoid ownership problems. So these are the things you need to do to avoid problems in real estate, most especially real estate scam, so you can enjoy your investment. Real estate should bring you peace, not trouble. Real estate should bring you peace, not trouble. All right. So if you like my videos or you like the knowledge I'm giving to you on real estate, kindly ensure that you share, you subscribe, you tell your friends to subscribe to my channel because we are always bringing the best of real estate investment to your doorstep so you can be able to invest safely and profitably in real estate. My name is The Real Land Boss, your go-to realtor. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, have a great day too, Victoria. Thank you so much for joining my life. I hope you learned something. Thank you. The life doesn't want to end. What's happening?